I want to get into this Jojo Siwa
Leia walked
tea.
in. She's like, I have to talk about Jojo.
The first thing I want to start by saying is that I apologize in advance for even talking about it because I'm 43 years old and I have no business talking about it. That being said, those who know me know that I'm obsessed with lesbian culture and anything to do with the queer tea. I love all tea, but especially queer tea. And Jojo's been involved in some tea. So in this case, for those of you that are not aware of what's going on, I'm going to give it to you in 60 seconds or less. Jojo Siwa, a pretty up-and-coming pop star, also was on Dance Moms and came out as a lesbian, and has a partner, dated multiple people and had tea with multiple people.
Big TikTok lesbian.
Yes. Yeah. And if you don't know who Jojo Siwa is, just look it up. And Jojo Siwa now has a partner, a non-binary partner named Kath.
Okay.
And Kath gave Jojo the blessing to go to Big Brother UK and film this 2-week social experiment. And if you know what Big Brother is, it's a reality TV, and that's what Jojo went on. Jojo went on reality TV and connected with this person named Chris, who is from some Temptation Island or whatever it was.
Kath is hot.
Kath is so sexy.
Okay.
And the world is watching as Jojo and Chris are becoming closer and closer. And I'm going to let you guys watch the clips for yourself to make your own judgment. Or if you want to like pan out into the podcast and like put up the clips for people to see. So there's
Chris,
like
a man?
Yes. And Chris is definitely being very physical with Jojo. Physical, cuddling in bed. They're both like, Chris is shirtless and like she'll be in a bra. I also don't want to say she because I think that Jojo came out as non-binary or trans, or at least is supporting it. But when Kath was referring to Jojo, Kath said they, so I just want to stick to the right pronoun. Okay. Long story short, Jojo and Siwa, cut this because it's like long, but Jojo and Chris have people speculating for the last couple of weeks that they've definitely fell in love and that they have a relationship. And Jojo has said some things on camera like, I may not belong in a relationship right now, when she's super committed to Kath. And she said multiple things, and people on the internet are savage. They're like, oh my God, she's cheating. Anyway, get the deadline. The show films. Kath takes a flight out to meet Jojo. Kath watches this along with everybody else. And Kath got on a plane and flew 24 hours, went to the UK, got there, and after the after party that night, while Chris was in the other room, Jojo broke up with Kath.
Oh, no.
So this is the tea. Now that you have the facts, and I said it as simple facts, I'm going to address all of it. I'm dividing this into 3 parts. There's part number 1, which is Jojo Siwa. There's part number 2, which is Kath. And part number 3, which is physical affection in relationships. So I'm going to start with number 1, Jojo Siwa. Jojo Siwa is 21 years old.
Yeah.
Jojo Siwa just came out as a lesbian, a few years ago?
Yesterday.
And literally has been in multiple relationships in the public eye. Most of us at 20, not me, because I came from the Hasidic community, but most of us in our 20s are doing that. We're dating people publicly. Yeah. So she's been in relationships where she dated people publicly. People are saying, oh, Jojo wasn't kind in those relationships. You know, she was an asshole or whatever they're saying about her. Either way, 21, living her best life. She went to the UK, and in the UK, she also discovered, by the way, that she may in fact also potentially be non-binary, connects most with non-binary people, and also may have regretted jumping into another relationship. That's normal.
Totally
to get somewhere and be like, shit, how did I land up in this relationship? I give Jojo Siwa, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, so much credit, because it is very hard to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
Very hard to be the bad guy.
She's been the bad guy for years. Everybody's been hating on her.
I was a bad girl.
Yeah.
And I did bad things. And you know what? She said to herself, I don't know what's going through her mind, but I'm pretty sure that it's not easy to be the bad guy. She knows the internet's going to have an attack with this. Look what she did. She had the nerve to break up with her. I say, whatever your reasoning for breaking up with her, thank God you didn't string them along. Thank God you didn't schlep it out. You didn't lie. You did the right thing and you said, I don't, for whatever the reason is, you didn't want it. Let's say you went to kiss Chris 5 seconds later. Whatever. But also, you did the right thing.
And also, she knows what she's doing. She's not she knows that she gets when she gets attention, even if it's bad, it helps her. It helps her ticket sales. It helps her engagement. It helps her grow. It helps her publicity. It helps her in every single way. She knows that. Even after that bad karma, everyone was like shitting on her for the bad karma video. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
And she was like, hey, like, you're shitting on me, but you're the ones paying attention to me. I'm living in all of your brains.
Literally,
right
by the way, rent free.
Yes.
Not even rent free because we have to pay for tickets.
Exactly.
So I'm not paying for tickets, but I will pay in my TikTok views.
Yes.
And when I allow myself to consume social media, I often land up in this area. So Jojo Siwa, those are my thoughts on it. 21 years old. It's really funny to see the internet rip someone apart.
It's insane.
I say go you. Next, not go you for being, mean or malicious or doing things that are whatever, but go you for at least breaking up with Kath.
I think everyone's going to look back on how we treated Jojo Siwa and be like, this is another
like Britney Spears.
Britney.
Literally.
It's another Miley. It's all of these like young girls who get so shit on for no reason.
Well, there's reason.
I mean,
but also like the amount of scrutiny is insane. The fact that you and I are even talking about it.
You brought it up, Leia.
Now I want to talk about Kath. I want to talk about Kath.
Wait, I have to get a tissue, but you could keep talking.
So next up with Kath, but this is really important. Okay, so Kath, number one, Kath is 28 years old.
Oh.
Okay. In queer relationships, it's not the end of the world. But I will also say Kath is significantly older. And so Kath has had probably more relationships and more experiences. Number two, I want to put in perspective, Kath and Jojo have been dating for 3 months. 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, granted, Jojo did say, I want to marry you. Yes. And Jojo did say all of that. And Jojo did leave letters every day for Kath or videos for Kath when Jojo was in the house.
How do you know that?
Kath made a video.
Okay.
So I know all of this.
How many videos are there?
Oh my God.
Okay.
When you go down the rabbit hole, forget it. So long story short, I wish Kath more self-love and self-worth. Because if I saw that play out on TV, and this is me personally, I wouldn't get on a plane to go meet someone who did that to me.
Right.
I would make somebody finish what they're doing and find me. And I want you to pursue me. And I want you to...
Kath is equal part, like, perpetrator in this.
I mean, listen, like, Jojo's surrounded by older people.
Yeah.
Chris is 31 years old and others. Yeah. And all her handlers and all her production assistants and all her people and her mom. These are all people that are older than Jojo. And these are all people that want a piece of Jojo for whatever the reason is.
Yes, and for money.
Money, and personality. She's cool,
Yeah.
So Kath is 28 years old and also Kath deleted the video right away. Like put it up and delete. I mean, everyone screen recorded it already, which is how I saw it. I didn't see the original.
Right.
But overall, Kath feels betrayed and played and all those things. And rightfully so. I'm saying Kath, watch things play out. And also, Kath, next time around, you watch something like that or even hear about something like that and it makes you feel an ick, you protect yourself.
Yeah.
And don't get on no plane to meet anybody for what?
So chaotic.
Kath said, I held up my part of the bargain as a partner. But Jojo didn't hold up their part of the bargain as a partner, and you saw that play out. So for all the people out there, all the partners out there that want to walk away from relationships thinking, I was the better one, forget it. Forget it.
About
Don't
it.
be the better one. Be the petty one. Be the one that protects yourself. Why do you have to be the better one? And I grew up Hasidish where they were like, Za de gressere Mensch. Be the bigger person. I'm not saying be vicious and be mean. But you don't need to be the bigger person. If you're watching your partner on camera doing things that are making you feel ick, or if you're watching your partner like other people's photos or whatever it is, and you've asked them or if you've made it clear that it's a boundary or whatever it is, and they're like, doing their thing, which is great, let them do their thing and you do your thing.
Yeah, just end it.
Do your thing. You know what I mean?
But I'm saying the fact that she flew to London to talk to her and then posted about it and then it's not about the real relationship. It's about the show. It's a performance.
Well, Kath did request not to be put on camera when Kath went out to meet Jojo after the show for the after show.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, they didn't want to be on camera. That's something. But then went on camera immediately afterwards to express that they were upset. By the way, rightfully so. I've gone on camera millions of times and expressed something I was pissed off about.
Yeah.
That being said, like I said, they dated 3 months.
Right. But also I think, and Antonia's amazing at this, because like there's been so many times where like something terrible has happened in the world and I'm like, we have to pod about this right now. And she's like, sometimes like the best takes like happen kind of after, like you're not like in the middle of like an activated state when you're like talking about it, and then it's just like when you're with your partner and if you're like it's so triggered, then it's really hard to have like a calm, rational discussion about it. In the same way, like sometimes it's good to take like a 24-hour week beat before you get on a podcast and be like, but then I never end up doing it.
But then you miss viral opportunities, right?
That's true. It's
so
true.
Overall, Jojo's 21.
Yeah.
Kath is 28. Kath has been in relationships. So has Jojo. And at the end of the day, kudos to Jojo for breaking it off with Kath immediately. Kath, I wish you much self-love in the future, that you do not spend your money or time or someone else's money or time and energy chasing someone, even if it's just chasing the closure, when someone's actions already spoke for themselves. Which brings me to number 3. Chris, but also I want to talk about that kind of physical intimacy in relationships, because Antonia's not here.
Yeah.
But Antonio and I did talk about it off camera, and Antonia said that relationships like that do exist. There are friendships out there where people are very intimate. They lay in bed together. They caress each other's hair. Chris put his finger on Jojo's lip.
That's
there was
intimate.
like, again, levels. Now, I believe everyone should do what works for them. I'll be very honest, that wouldn't work for me if I was in a monogamous relationship. Yeah. If I was in an open relationship, boundaries are different.
They were monogamous, obviously.
They were in a monogamous exclusive relationship, and that was happening in front of our eyes.
Yeah.
It was happening in front of our eyes. So,
is there something to this that it's like, oh, they're in performance mode?
Definitely. Of course. They know what they're doing. Everyone knows what they're doing. The cameras are all over.
Yeah.
That being said, even if Jojo was figuring themselves out, I would still be not okay. Yeah. Watching my partner cuddled up with somebody else, caressing faces, that level of intimacy. And I do believe there are intimate friendships. I have intimate friendships. I've gone to, I've traveled with friends to Mexico where we all went into the ocean and got naked and danced. And I have intimate friendships. And also, that level of intimacy that Chris and Jojo had is not something I'd be comfortable with. That was, I'm going to say it, that was also sexual. It felt sexual watching it.
Well, I think
and gross, by the way, because he's 31.
That way too. Right?
Yeah.
Kath felt that way too, and that's why they went to London to break it off or to figure out what was going on. So I think a lot of people felt that it was sexual. But I also think you can have a, touchy friendship, but that was whatever. Everyone, it depends.
Like I said, we go out dancing. You grind on your friends. I understand intimate relationships and friendships, and I'm learning more as I get older. It's not something that you and I were conditioned growing up, right?
Yeah.
Our physical touch was reserved for husbands.
Intimate. Yes.
And that's it.
Yes.
So I didn't even hug my friends. I had friends that were very mushy, we called them.
Mushy.
And so I would say Jojo is mushy. Yeah.
You wouldn't hug your girlfriend?
No. And my girlfriends would lay in bed together, cuddle and hug and sit in each other's laps, and it was very normal, and hold hands. I never did. I grew up in a world where that was very frowned upon, and that I didn't see that kind of physical affection at all. That to me, that was goyish. And it wasn't, because plenty of my religious friends did hold hands. But if you look at the Jojo Siwa clips and Chris, I will let you guys make your own assumptions.
And write in the comments.
Yeah, write it in the comments. What do you think? Because again, by all means, call me out on my shiz. Tell me Leia, you're 43, you're old fashioned. I'm okay with that. I'll hear it. But I am telling you that when you watch those clips, let me know if you felt a little tingle.
Yeah.
And that's cool, by the way. JoJo's 21, he's 31. They're allowed to do whatever they want. It's consensual, completely consensual. But I often wonder, and Chris, I'm talking to you. Good luck if this becomes a romantic relationship or some kind of intimate friendship. And I have younger friends. You're my younger friend. Hoovie's one of my best friends, is my younger friend.
Yeah.
So I'm all for friends, and I have way older friends than me as well. I agree with not putting someone in a box on age. But that level of physical touch and intimacy with someone 10 years younger than you, who's a girl or is a biological female, right? And also, if it ends up being in a relationship, as someone who had a partner who was 12 years younger than them, and I was with them for 10 years, I also had a husband who was 8 years older than me. And I can tell you that both of those relationships that I personally experienced, the age difference was a big mistake. I shouldn't have married someone 8 years older than me. I shouldn't have spent 6 years with somebody 12 years younger than me. You know, it's two different stages of life.
Yeah.
And I wonder, Chris, what do you think you have in common with somebody who just turned 21, who's figuring out their sexuality, who's like a TikTok, you know, what do you have in common with them? That's what I'd like to know.
Yeah, Chris,
and I get very wary, Chris, when older people say, but they have an old soul. That's a red flag to me.
Did he say that about her?
No, but you know that type.
Yes.